Hi, this is John Scott. I'd like to welcome my regulars back. First-time visitors, welcome. You're on a very controversial website. Most of Christianity, even though this is a Christian website, rejects this website. They've called me everything in the book. False prophet, false teacher, self-deceived, non-patriotic, you name it. They've called me servants of the Antichrist himself. If you follow my website a little bit and compare it with current Christianity, you might find out why they reject me. Christians argue that the mark of the beast can only be calculated in the Koine Greek or the Hebrew, because those are the holy languages that God had the Bible written in. God never said that it would be calculated in the Koine Greek or the Hebrew. That's an assumption on the part of prophecy teachers that teach that. And because of that, they don't take a look at the English patterns in great detail, and they discount it and discredit it before they do their research, even though there's a scientific method program that they can download for free from my website. And those things can be found on my website and on my YouTube channel, and you could probably get through it all in about a week and come to the same conclusion, like, oh my God. You know, the OMG. The mark of the beast, a system to calculate the number 666, has been known for almost 12 years. But they won't tell you. One, it's too controversial. It could cause them not to receive any donations, and they all live on donations. If they can't say it's just for missions or the mission field, that their livelihood depends on whether or not you send them a donation or buy their video. Now, this is not to say that all Bible prophecy teachers teach error. It's not to say that when those that accuse me of not teaching correctly don't have an argument, but it's not an argument that will stand up to serious scrutiny. They make assumptions based on what they've been taught in seminary or Bible school, what's been taught in mainstream. And I'm talking about the best of them, not the worst of them. Jesus said there would be lots of false Christianity. Anyway, you'll find those videos linked, or some of them linked. If you look above, it'll say 18 videos or 19 or 20, whatever it is now. Not all of my videos are listed there. Some of them you have to go to my website to see, and you can see them by going and using these keywords. The keywords are point prophetic. If you use them in Google, you'll find my website. You'll know it when you see it, because you'll see some of the videos here. If you were to go to my when you go to my website, go down and look at the link that says author bio, or no, author biography. It's really basically a history of how I got involved in the English gematria, the English numerics that are on this website. It discusses why some Christian prophecy teachers reject it, and the history behind the development of the program, which you can download for free. Also from my website, you go to the Uncover Exec for that. Now, a lot of you have emailed me, Christian and non-Christians, saying I'm not a patriot of America. I love America with all my heart. Former Marine Corps. I served. I've lost friends in Beirut, Grenada. Don't tell me I don't love America. You need to listen to the whole video, because the whole video focuses in on just one argument. Doesn't focus in on the missile argument. Doesn't talk about the Pentagon. It focuses on the structural steel. The known fact that structural steel cannot be melted by any amount of time. If you had 20 days of fire, even with jet fuel at its highest temperature, unpressurized, cannot weaken or even melt structural steel enough to cause a collapse. The Mandarin fire and many other fires where every story is engulfed for 24 hours, the building's structural steel, even though everything else was gutted, would not collapse. Now I realize that Alex Jones and other people that rant and scream and go off on other things talking about government conspiracy, whether they're right or wrong or not, but they're giving you so much information, you lose sight of the most easily verifiable factual thing which proves that 9/11 was an inside job. Yes, the terrorists were real terrorists. Our complicity is that there are forces within our government that said, hey, they attacked the towers once. We found out they're going to try to attack us again. And they made a decision that, well, this is going to keep happening. We need to go in the Middle East. But how are we going to do that? The Congress and the American people won't support it. So they decided to let the buildings be attacked. But to make it better and to send signals about the New World Order, they went ahead and demoed the buildings as well. Which is amazing to me, because from my point of view, even my point of view, it would have been just as easy to get the support of the American people just to let the terrorists do their part, and they might not have never got caught if they had just ignored it. But no, they had to collapse the building to send some kind of signal. Now, was it all forces of America? No. No structural steel building in 100 years of history has ever collapsed. We had 3 on one day. Building 7 collapsed without even being hit by an airplane. Structural steel won't melt for at least another 700 degrees hotter than was possible with jet fuel. Not to mention the fires on 9/11 were almost out. The Kissinger Associates, the Rockefellers, the CFR are the ones that were behind that. Now, their intentions for a global nuclear New World Order is good, to get control of nuclear weapons, world population. Even if you take God and the theology out of the equation altogether, we have some serious problems. So there are world globalists that are not evil people. The problem is the ones involved in the global New World Order that are evil people. Henry Kissinger's favorite quote is about military men, quoted in one of Woodward's books. Excuse me. I need a drink of coffee. Everybody else drinking coffee? Coronas? Michelob? Excuse me. But, Kissinger, one of Kissinger's favorite quotes back in the 70s, when was it? Was that military men are dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy. Kissinger was in the Army, I believe, but he didn't learn a damn thing about camaraderie. He's always been a lone wolf. He might still be. A lot of people ask me if I think, since I use his name on my introduction to the English gematria in 666, if I believe he's the Antichrist. I can't say that for sure. I can say he's an absolute candidate. He's Jewish. He's a German immigrant, but technically he is Jewish by his mother's birth, which makes him a candidate for Antichrist. He's a peacemaker from 1967. The Antichrist is supposed to be a peacemaker that's supposed to be very wise. He's supposed to have a hoary head, which means in the Jewish tradition, a man of many years of white hair, and he's almost got that. But does that absolutely mean he's the Antichrist? No. I can't say for sure he's the Antichrist, but he could be. If he was, would he know now? I don't know. It says that the mortal head wound, the Antichrist someday suffers a mortal head wound and comes back to life. That reanimation that is allowed, God allows it, could be the entering of a Luciferian spirit or Lucifer himself. The reason I say that is because the scripture for the word beast, in the Koine Greek, the word beast is used multiple ways. So when you write it, when the writer writes it a specific way, it means certain things. In the case of the Koine Greek, you can use beast to describe a ruthless man. You can use beast to describe a cow or an oxen, and then you can use the word beast that describes not human. In the Old Testament, or excuse me, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and the Old Covenant, the little horn, we have a person that symbolically is connected to that is actually a man. And then we have another being that seems to imply not human or spiritual, and that's where all of the debate comes within Christianity. But what I'm trying to explain is it's neither man as we understand man, although they look human, but rather it's Nephilim hybrid. Because John in Revelation 13 in description of the beast uses the word not human. Now, UFOs are real. There's real aliens. But let me tell you what they really are. They're fallen angels, hybrid form. Some of them can take human form. The reason for the flood from the biblical account was because of the sons of God. And the Old Testament sons of God are talking about hybrid fallen angels who left their first estate to take physical forms. And I know most of Christianity is in such apostasy they don't even begin to discuss that subject anymore. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because, one, a lot of Christians don't discuss it anymore, along with most of real end-time prophecy. And because there's scuttlebutt going around the web now, there's going to be UFO disclosure. The government's going to finally quit hiding the fact that there's aliens. And one of these aliens will someday be part of the prophecy that's dealing with the mark of the beast and the beast. And I just bring it up. I don't expect any of you to believe it. But remember, the Antichrist is allowed to solve a lot of the world problems for the first 3.5 years. That he makes a covenant and a contract with Israel. Then eventually he suffers a mortal head wound. Then he comes back to life. And then there's, of course, there's the religious aspect of false prophet. So I'm mentioning these things expecting you, most of you, to say, oh, this guy's out of his frickin' mind. Well, go research 9/11. For those of you who don't believe 9/11, go watch all my videos, especially in late great United States. Then do something that will be hard for you to do. Ignore the fact that you think I'm out of my mind. Ignore the fact that you think I don't have a clue. A lot of you have written me, you must be delusional to believe that. Well, look at the math in the 666 findings. Insanity, stubborn, unruly, all one numeric alphabet system in one system out of 500,000 possibilities within the scientific method. Look at 9/11. Research just the structural steel argument. The $3 trillion that ended up missing right before 9/11 and the misappropriations at the Pentagon. That was after 9/11. That just kind of got swept under the rug. $3 trillion just disappeared. How about that? Did you even know about that? So look at my website, Point Prophetic. Use those keywords, Point Prophetic. Read everything on that website. For those of you who can't hardly stand those subjects, read it anyway, because even if you disagree with it, you'll have all the main foundational points. A lot of this stuff is still future, so when it starts happening the way I spoke about it, you'll know what to do. And maybe by then you'll have a supernatural confirmation of the Holy Spirit, which I discussed in a lot of my other videos. I love America with all my heart. I know the price. And I'm telling you because I care. I don't really expect to stop anything from happening. Certain things must come to pass according to the way I believe. My only interest is trying to make you be more prepared for that time that is to come. There are hard times that are coming, and you need the assurance and the power and to know the real Jesus, not organized Christianity. I'm not talking Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses here, Seventh-day Adventists. I'm talking about Jesus that can reach down and touch you supernaturally. So take a look. You got nothing to lose.